Welcome back, boxing fans, to another great show with Sean on boxing. Sorry I didn't go live today. These Saudi cards are really early. I set my alarm clock for 4, woke up at 6, and was just in time for the final fight. Um, this fight was one of the best fights in heavyweight boxing history. I mean, both guys deserve huge credit. Fury came in way better shape than he was the first fight, fought way better than he did before. Usyk did what he does, which is consistently be great. It was a great fight. I had the score a draw. I felt Fury started faster and even had a few big rounds at the end, but Usyk ended up tying it up late. With the last 2 rounds, I gave Usyk both of those rounds, which ended up making it a draw. But to be fair, I would not have been sad or angry regardless of who won. And to be fair, I predicted that Fury was going to win this fight, right? Not because I'm a Fury fan, because I'm not. I prefer Usyk to Fury. But because I felt that Fury would make adjustments. Obviously, sentiment would kind of be on his side. And with the possibility of a huge trilogy fight, you could understand that, people may be more prone to lean towards him. But the scorecards were far more adamant this time around, which is kind of funny. The first time, Usyk ended up getting a 10-8 round, right? The fight where he gets a 10-8 round and looks like he's going to knock Fury out is more competitive on the scorecards than the fight like this one, which obviously was a super competitive fight. Even when you look at the AI punches landed, there was probably about 20 punch difference in landed punches between these two fighters. 20 punches tells you how close and competitive this fight was, and that it definitely wasn't an 8-4, right? But 8-4 also shows you how easily something can swing one way or the other, because obviously some of those rounds easily could have been swing rounds that could have went one way or the other way. And only people that did their scorecards know for certain that. I just felt it was funny because obviously I was putting in my scores round after round for everyone to see on Twitter or X, and I saw a lot of people's responses that they were putting on as well. And there was a lot of Americans, and I say Americans because primarily this is what I noticed, a lot of Americans, YouTubers, that were really heavily in favor of Usyk and had Usyk really winning huge, which I mean, you can see they're going in biased. They're going in literally wanting Usyk to win, and they're seeing what they want to see. And really, that's what it is. And that's the problem with a lot of people that do scorecards. They go in and they see what they want to see, right? I like to think that's not me, because lots of times I pick against the people that I favor and I want to win. Like even today, I wanted Fury to win because in my prediction league, that's the prediction I made. So obviously having Fury win would have benefited me in that sense. But I was happy if the fight went one way or the other. If Usyk won, I wouldn't have been upset. I just felt that a lot of the people on YouTube and on X and how they felt that Usyk won easily and it wasn't competitive and it was a far more dominant fight than the first fight. There's nothing more dominant about this fight than the first fight. If anything, the first fight was much more of a Usyk victory and a far more dominant performance than this one. And that doesn't take anything away from Usyk, but it's giving credit for both guys and how well prepared they were and how much better Fury was in this fight. And let's be honest, whether you like Fury or whether you dislike Fury, Fury was much better this time around. Far sharper, putting his punches together much better. His jab was effective. He was landing clean right hands, right? Even had some success to the body and did very well. And as I said, I'm not a Tyson Fury fan, So I'm not jumping on the bandwagon and trying to fanboy for him because I'm a fan of Fury. Well, I picked Fury to win. Truthfully, I hoped Usyk would win because I prefer Usyk to be a dominant heavyweight, right? I think it just legacy wise plays out better to have Usyk go on to be the dominant, undisputed champion, the much smaller fighter doing what nobody could imagine him doing. And that's what he did today. So congratulations to Usyk on a brilliant performance. Very humble man. You got to like him. When Daniel Dubois jumped in the ring to sort of steal some of his shine, he was what he was. He was just, nonplussed. And he was like, hey, Turkey, can I fight this guy next? Right? He's just super fucking cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. And for Fury, of course he's going to be upset because he did perform better. Really, he performed far better than he did the first fight. And to get no accolades at all, not even for it to be a far more close fight on the cards, potentially him even winning on card, you can understand why he would be super sort of in his feelings and disappointed, and his team as well, as we heard from obviously his promoter, Frank Warren, in the ring. You can see these scorecards that people had on X and just the clear bias that a lot of YouTube content creators had going into this fight, as opposed to media. When you look at the media, I felt, and I generally don't necessarily agree with the media. A lot of time I feel the media tends to be swayed really heavily one way or the other. But in this particular situation, you could see that the media was far fairer in their predictions, right? And a lot more accommodating to Fury's performance and understanding the great performance he put on today. And, let's not miss that. Tyson Fury put on a great performance today. He might have lost this fight, but as far as his legacy, this is a win for him. And I know some people may not understand that because there's a lot of people that watch boxing that are just, a little slow in the uptake. But when you fight a fight like this, at that level, at this point of your career on this stage, and you put on that kind of performance, this is the kind of performance that even though you lost, years down the road, people are going to rewatch this fight. And who won and who lost is not going to be the point of the fight, right? Like when I watch Leonard and Hagler, I know Leonard won, but that's not what I get caught up in watching the fight. I get caught up in watching the fight itself. And the specifics kind of are, not that important. That's not the main thing that you're focused on. Like watching Barrera versus Morrell, the trilogy. Watching who won is irrelevant. What we're watching are great fights, historical fights, and fights that built these guys' legacies. And don't be mistaken. Today, Fury's legacy was totally built because today's performance really showed you how good he truly is, right? We've seen a few less than stellar performances from him. Obviously, his fight with the MMA guy was really a bad look. Then he came out and got hurt in a fight that most people were predicting he was going to win the first time around. Obviously, this time around, people felt more prone to pick Usyk because they'd already seen Usyk do it. And they felt that, Usyk potentially was going to get better, whereas Fury, people were feeling as if maybe he had come to the end of the road, right, and didn't have much left. But today's performance showed you anything but solid performance. Hats off to Tyson Fury. What a fucking performance today. What a fucking boxer. Literally, that was an unbelievable performance from him. And that just shows you the level of Alexander Usyk. Jesus. I understand why Daniel Dubois wants to get in there because obviously it's a huge payday and potential to become undisputed heavyweight champion. But the truth is, does he feel he's going to be more effective this time around just because he had some success to the body with a low blow? I think potentially Usyk is going to beat him more clearly, more effectively, but we'll see. For Usyk, eventually, the hunger is going to dry up. The hard work is just not going to get the same results. He's pushing 40, and you can't consistently be as great as you were your whole career. But let me know in the comment section below, who did you have winning? What was your scorecard? Obviously, you could see the scorecards of many people on X and their opinions, and you can see people had a wide range of opinions. Obviously, some people were very heavy leaning towards Fury, other people heavily leaning towards Usyk, some people a little more down the middle like myself saw it as a very competitive fight that could have went either way. You even look at Anthony Joshua fight. I like Mike Montero, but he was very critical of AJ's card, even though AJ had Usyk winning, just like him. But he was critical because AJ had it a one-round fight, so he had it very competitive. I think AJ's card was one of the best cards that I saw as far as being fair and a lot more on point. Most of these other people with these wide scorecards, I had to scratch my head and think, what the fuck, man? You guys are projecting. Like, literally, that's what you're doing. You're projecting. And the fact that you don't understand that you can't see it, and you can't see how anybody potentially could have it far closer, that's part of the problem with this whole scoring when we come to boxing. This I'm right, everybody is wrong sort of mentality. You know, the same reason why I don't follow religion. You know, this is the same output towards scorecards, right? People that are just so indignant and have no room for anyone else's opinion. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. Tell me, do you think Usyk dominated and destroyed Fury, or it was a competitive fight? Obviously, you could lean towards Usyk. I would not think you're wrong at all. But let me know in the comments. Peace.